Hello and welcome to Thursday the 4th of March's Phonics for Year 2 Grasshopper and Dragonflies class. So we're going to start the day by looking at our words of the week. Who can remember what they are? We have the word under, river, better, mother and never. They all end in our ER. Our challenge is today, can you write and spell these words correctly so we can use the look, cover, check approach here, where you write them down as a list, you then cover them up with your hand and then try and write the correct spelling next to each one, and then you check to see if you got them right. Maybe try that a couple of times as well if we didn't get any right. So have a little go at doing that now. Okay, some ways that we might want to remember these spellings, of course, are to see how many syllables are in the word, to find its root word, to use a spelling pattern, or maybe make a mnemonic, a sentence that will help you to remember them. So we're going to go over the spelling rules for adding our ER suffix. It makes a noun, usually a person. Read as in reader. If it ends in an E, we don't double that E, we just add an R. So there we've got drive becomes driver. If it ends in a single consonant, we double that consonant before adding the suffix, so there run becomes runner. And if it ends in an X, we don't change the root word at all, we just add the ER suffix, so mix becomes mixer. So, I'm going to do a few little different things today. Okay, we're going to firstly look at some polysyllabic words. Now, this is something we normally do on a Friday, but you'll see why we're going to do it in a moment. And we're going to do a clap and count with some words that are going to pop up on the screen. So we've got the word funny. Funny. How many syllables do you think are in that? Funny. Or you can do your hand on your chin. Funny. That's got 2 syllables. Then we've got the word fast. 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 That's only got 1 syllable. We've then got the word happy. Happy, happy. How many syllables has that got? 2 syllables. Well done. Then we've got a longer word, entertaining, 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 entertaining. How many do you think is in that one? That has got 4 syllables in it. Quite a lot, isn't it? So there we've got funny with 2, fast with 1, happy with 2, and entertaining with 4 different syllables in it. Okay, so 1-syllable adjectives in English follow the rules we have learned to add ER. Okay, so we can add ER to most words that have only got 1, maybe even 2 syllables in them without a problem. However, some adjectives that have got 3 or more syllables can't have that ER suffix added to them. Okay, and instead should be preceded by the words more or less before them so that they can become comparative adjectives. So preceded means to go in front of or before. Okay, so let's have a look at some examples. So if I had the word important and I added ER at the end, importanter, does that make sense? No. So we can't put ER at the end of important because important has got 3 syllables. So we can't say importanter. So we would use the word more or less important in front of the word important. So we could say more important, or we could say less important, depending on the context of the sentence or in how we're saying it. Now, next word is interesting. Interesting. 4 syllables. Would I say it's more interestinger? No. Okay, well, that was interestinger than that. Okay, however context you want to put it on. It doesn't sound right, does it, when we add that ER to it? So we would again use the word more or less in front of it. So I'd say that is more interesting, or I'd say that is less interesting. So that's what we're going to look at today. Instead of adding the ER suffix to words that have got 3 or more syllables in them, we're going to look at adding either more or less in front of the word. Okay, so got a little bit of a word sort here first. 1 box is where we're just going to add the ER to it, and 1 is where we need to add either less or more in front of it. So I've got the word quicker. Quicker. If you look at that one, what rule does it come under? Well done, it's got the ER on the end, so that's a nice easy one. Then I've got the word spinner. That also is just the ER on the end, and that one we doubled the consonant on. I've then got the word generous. Would I say generouser? No, it would be, I would say, less generous or more generous. I've then got the word sillier. Sillier. That is just add ER. In that case, it ended in a Y. Silly ends in a Y, so replace the Y with an I to become sillier. I've then got the word beautiful. Would I say beautifuler? No, I wouldn't. I would use more or less in front. I'd say less beautiful, or I'd say more beautiful. I've then got the word fatter. That is just adding ER where I've doubled the consonant. I've then got the word colourful. Would I say colourfuller? No, I wouldn't say colourfuller, would I? I would say that is more colourful or less colourful. And then my last word here is intelligent. Would I say intelligenter? No, I would use either more or less in front of it. I'd say less intelligent or more intelligent. I hope you were able to understand those rules there and see which one was which words we would add less or more to, and which words we would just add ER to. So we're going to see if we can write a sentence now. What do we need to remember when we write a sentence? Of course, capital letters, finger spaces, and our end punctuation. Okay, today's sentence goes, playing football is more interesting than gardening. That uses one of our words there, more or less, doesn't it? More interesting. So we're going to start with the word playing. Playing. Okay, think about what that is going to start with as it's the beginning of our sentence. And can you write down the word playing? Our next word is football. Football. So we've got playing, football. Playing, football. Okay, our next word after that is. So playing football is. Playing football is. Then we've got today's rule of adding more or less. More interesting. More interesting. So can we write m or more and then interesting? Quite a long, tricky word there. So just try and spell it how you think it should be spelled. Interesting. Interesting. So we've got playing football is more interesting than. That's our next word. Than. 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 And our last word is gardening. Gardening. Another long word there. See if you can work out how to spell it. Gardening. Gardening. So our whole sentence altogether says, playing football is more interesting than gardening. I think gardeners probably would not agree with that one, but all of you who like football, you probably would agree with that one, wouldn't you? Okay, should we have a little look at what that sentence actually looks like? Playing football is more interesting than gardening. So have a little look now at your sentence that you've written down. Perhaps pause the video to give yourself a bit of time here and see how many of those spellings we got right. So we wouldn't say playing football is interestinger than gardening, which is why we've used that more or less in front of it. So playing football is more interesting than gardening. Okay, so we're going to have a look at some more writing of sentences here and some different comparative adjectives that we could use. So I've got here an option. You've got more or you've got less, and then we've got the word. So the words are complete, beautiful, dangerous, colourful, exciting, complicated, and boring. So we wouldn't put at the end of those. Completer, beautifuler, dangerouser, colourfuler, excitinger, complicateder, and boringer. Because that just doesn't make sense. So we have to use that more or that less in front of the word to make it make sense. So I could say more complete, less complete, more beautiful, less beautiful, more dangerous, less dangerous, more colourful, less colourful, more exciting, less exciting, more complicated, less complicated, more boring, or less boring. And your challenge is can you write some sentences that use these words? You might only want to write 1 or 2 sentences and pick a word, or you might want to write a sentence for each word. Okay, and in that sentence, you're going to choose more or less to go in front of it. So I might say something like a cactus is less beautiful than a rose. I've used the word less in front of that one. I might say my t-shirt is more colourful than my friends. Okay, so there I've used the word more in front of it. And you can choose, are you going to use more? Are you going to use less? And see if you can put those into a comparative sentence. I'm sure you will come up with some really interesting and creative ideas. And you never know, maybe some of you will be able to get more than one word into a sentence. Right, that is the end of today's phonics session. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you again tomorrow for some more phonics. Goodbye.